these species are under a unique threat from one particular invasive species that threatens the survival and the balance of the whole ecosystem, and that is the dreaded Burmese python you see right there. These are giant snakes that are not native to here. They were introduced through the exotic pet trade, and they were released into the wild once they got too big for their owners to keep them in the house. How stupid do you have to be to have released these things into the house, or out of your house and into the wild? But that's exactly what happened. This is many decades ago that this happened. It's created huge problems because of that. So those were terrible decisions. This is an apex predator right here. It threatens the survival of many endangered species. A single female python can lay up to 100 eggs at a time, and they have no natural predators in the Florida Everglades. So their population has exploded. Native mammals, ranging from raccoons and rabbits to foxes and even deer, have seen their numbers dwindle. These things will take out a deer. I mean, it's unbelievable what they're able to do. Ground nesting birds face threat from these big snakes. Even larger mammals like the panther, one of Florida's most iconic native species, now have to compete with these pythons for food, which drives home the threat of an already endangered species. And so, since 2019, we've taken unprecedented action to remove pythons from the Everglades. Under my direction, FWC and DEP have allowed for the removal of invasive Burmese pythons from all Florida state parks. The agencies entered into agreement that resulted in an additional 135 acres of land that are now accessible for python removal. We've also worked with the federal government, which has granted our request to increase access to federal lands for python removal, particularly Big Cypress National Preserve in Southwest Florida. And this past year, we were proud to further our ongoing investment in python removal efforts by securing $2 million in the annual budget for FWC to remove pythons from the Everglades. We provided record funding to Florida's annual Python Challenge, which offers participants a chance to win a share of tens of thousands of dollars in prizes for removing invasive Burmese pythons from the wild. People that are professional python hunters, but also novices, come from all around the world for the chance to hunt and bag their own python, and obviously they can then use the skin for different things. So we have now, in addition to opportunities on the 32 commission-managed lands, which are available year-round, we also can have removal of pythons on private lands at any time, and humanely killing of pythons at any time with landowner permission. No permit or hunting license is necessary for that. In fact, FWC encourages people to remove and humanely kill pythons from private lands whenever possible. So we have worked, FWC has really led the charge on this. They launched the Python Action Team Removing Invasive Constrictors program many years ago. It helps engage qualified individuals with non-native constrictor handling experience, and it compensates them for python removal from public land. So we're putting a bounty on the head of every one of these pythons to try to provide an economic incentive for people to want to come and remove them. And some people just like doing it for sport, but I think having the bounty is helpful. But that wasn't enough. So we've seen a lot of progress. We've seen a lot of pythons removed. I think they can chart you and show you the increase over the years in the number of pythons that have been removed. But the simple point of the matter was, at that pace, that was not enough to get where you needed to go on python removal. So last year we worked with FWC leading on a bold decision and made a bold decision to engage a private sector partner to strengthen this program. So they partnered with INVERSA, a Miami-based company that helps ensure biodiversity preservation through the ethical removal of invasive species to get this done. But this company also markets leather made from these invasive species. And so as of today, we can celebrate the fact that they've delivered on their objective 1.5 years ahead of schedule. That's right. In the first 3 months since transitioning to the program with INVERSA on May 1st, FWC and INVERSA have tripled the number of python removals. In July of this year, we had 748 removals compared to 235 removals in July of 2024. And honestly, 235 removals was not considered a small number at the time. We had 1,022 removals across May and July of this year compared to 343 removals during the same period last year. FWC management workload is down 89%, giving staff biologists valuable time back to focus on science, policy, and the other things the agency does well. In the month of July alone, the program removed more pythons than the entire 12 months pre-transition. That's incredible that they're doing it. So we appreciate everybody that's been involved with this. FWC has contracted hunters that have become professional army protecting the Everglades. They're now getting paid about 60% better for each snake. Morale is very high amongst the python hunters. This, of course, is our investment of the $2 million that we put in to this year's budget. But I think the results speak for themselves, and these have been dramatic results, and they've been very effective results. And so I am requesting, let's keep this momentum going. We want to work with the Florida legislature to make sure that this funding stays in place so that we continue to do what needs to be done to rid the Everglades of this invasive species. And, you know, INVERSA, they'll make wallets with the python skin. They'll make, yeah, we got a wallet right here, python skin wallet. They'll make boots. They'll make, what else do you guys have? Belts, nice belts. They even did, a couple years ago, python footballs. Yes. And I think they have a python baseball here. This is, I think it'll be something we'll put in the office, but, you know, python baseball. I don't know what Mason would say if I tried to throw this to him in batting practice. He may not like it as much, but it's it. So you have all these different trinkets that you can do, but I will tell you some of the stuff that's very fashionable, and I'm not somebody that really is very good in knowing what that would be, but these guys do. They sell these things, and when they become very popular, they sell them for a lot of money. So they have an economic incentive to get every python out of here because they can then turn that python skin into these products that then they can sell for more money. So we're harnessing the incentives of the private sector to be able to do what I think everybody wants to see, is get these Burmese pythons out of the Florida Everglades. It's not easy to find these things. I mean, it's not like, you know, it ain't like hunting a deer or something like that. I mean, you really got to look, and the people that do this do a really good job. So I want to thank everybody who's been involved in this. I mean, I know when Rodney told me that this was a possibility, it made perfect sense to me, because if we can harness the economic incentives in a way that's going to help remove these pythons, you know, that's going to be a force multiplier, and I knew it would help. I didn't know that the numbers would be this dramatic, I must confess. So it's been a pleasant surprise to see the progress, and I know we're going to continue to do it. And I want to thank FWC for what they've done, as well as INVERSA for the great partnership.